I never imagined the woman I treated like family would ask me to leave my own home. My mother-in-law looked me in the eyes and said it was time for me to move out because her oldest daughter deserved it, the house more than I did. She smiled as if she had already won. What she did not know was that I had quietly paid $6,600 every month to keep that house running. The next morning, I packed every single thing I owned. By sunset, everyone realized they had made the biggest mistake of their lives. My name is Evelyn. I am 36 years old and I live in Oregon. 6 years ago, I married the man I believed would stand beside me no matter what happened. We bought a beautiful home together. On paper, it looked like a shared dream. In reality, I was carrying almost everything. My husband had lost his business during a difficult year. I never complained because I believed marriage meant supporting each other during hard times. My income covered the mortgage, taxes, insurance, utilities, groceries, and even the medical bills for his mother. Every single month, I paid around $6,600 without telling anyone because I wanted my husband to keep his dignity. His mother moved in after surgery. I welcomed her with respect. I cooked her meals, drove her to appointments, and made sure she had everything she needed. She never thanked me, but I kept believing kindness would eventually change her opinion. Instead, she constantly praised her oldest daughter, Claire. According to her, Claire deserved everything because she had children. Every family dinner turned into another speech about how families should sacrifice for Claire. One Saturday afternoon, my mother-in-law called everyone into the living room. She cleared her throat and announced that it was time for me to leave. She said Claire and her husband needed the house to start a better life. My husband stayed completely silent. I waited for him to defend me. He never did. My mother-in-law smiled and said, "You have a good job. You can afford another place. Claire needs this home more than you do." The room became completely quiet. I looked around and realized nobody cared about the years I had spent paying every bill. Nobody cared about the endless overtime hours or the weekends I sacrificed just to protect this family from debt. I simply nodded and said, okay. The next morning, I hired professional movers. They packed every piece of furniture I had purchased. The living room became almost empty. The dining table disappeared. The washer, dryer, refrigerator, television, and even the expensive kitchen appliances were loaded into the truck because every receipt carried my name. Claire laughed while watching the movers. She believed the house still belonged to her dream. Then reality arrived. The automatic mortgage payment failed because I had canceled it. The utility companies transferred every account out of my name. Internet, electricity, and water all required new deposits before service could continue. That afternoon, the bank called my husband. He learned that I had been making every monthly payment from my personal account. Missing just one payment placed the mortgage at immediate risk because he did not have enough money to cover it. My husband looked completely shocked. He asked why I had never told him. I answered, because I thought love meant helping each other without keeping score. But respect should never be one-sided. My mother-in-law suddenly realized the truth. The house she wanted to give away only existed because I had quietly protected it for years. Claire and her husband could not afford the mortgage. They could not even qualify for refinancing. Within days, they admitted they had no way to keep the property. My husband begged me to come back. He apologized for staying silent. I told him silence is also a choice. When someone allows disrespect to happen, they become part of it. I filed for divorce a few weeks later. It was painful but peaceful. I bought a smaller home with my savings. Every room reminded me that I never again had to earn respect from people who only valued what I could provide. Months later, I heard the old house had been sold because nobody could afford the payments after I left. The family that once believed I was replaceable finally understood something important. They never lost a house. They lost the person who quietly held everything together. Sometimes the strongest revenge is not shouting or arguing. It is walking away with your dignity while the truth reveals itself. Never let people convince you that your kindness makes you weak. The people who underestimate your value often discover it only after you are gone forever.